गिरिवरधारे गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय जसोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madha, Radha Madha, Radha Madha, Jaya Radha Madha. हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्री श्री राधा माधव की जय। पंचतत्व भगवान की जय। प्रहलाद नृसिंहदेव भगवान की जय। श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की जय। संवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल। Hare Krishna. We are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 18, Text number 3. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Utsrejya sarvata sangam Vigyata jita sanstite वैयासकेर जहो शिष्यो गंगायां स्वं कलेवरम् उत्सृज्य सर्वतः संगम विज्ञाता जित संस्थिते वैयासकेर्जहो शिष्यो गंगायां स्वं कलेवरम् उत्सृज्य सर्वतः संगम विज्ञाता जित संस्थिते वैयासकेर्जहो शिष्यो गंगायां स्वं कलेवरम्. Yes. उत्सृज्य सर्वतः संगम संगम ज्ञाता जित संस्थिति वैष्णवेश सर्वतः संगम विज्ञाता चित्त संस्थिति वैयासकेर्जो शिष्यो गंगायां स्वं कलेवरम्. Word to word meaning. Utsrijya, after leaving aside. Sarvata, all around. Sangam, association. Vijnata, being understood. Ajita, one who is never conquered. The personality of Godhead. Sansthiti, actual position. Vayasake, unto the son of Vyasa. Jaho, gave up. Shishya, as a disciple. Gangayam, on the bank of the Ganges. Swam is on. Kalevaram, material body. Translation. Furthermore, after leaving all his associates, the king surrendered himself as a disciple to the son of Vyasa, Sukadeva Goswami, and thus he was able to understand the actual position of the personality of Godhead. Purport: the word Ajita is significant here. The personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is also known as Ajita or unconquerable, and he is so in every respect. No one can know his actual position. He is unconquerable by knowledge also. We have heard about his Dhamma or place, eternal Goloka Vrindavan. But there are many scholars who interpret this abode in different ways. But by the grace of a spiritual master like Sukadeva Goswami, unto whom the king gave himself up as a most humble disciple, one is able to understand the actual position of the Lord, his eternal abode, and his transcendental paraphernalia in that Dhamma or abode. Knowledge, the transcendental position of the Lord, and the transcendental method by which one can approach that transcendental Dham. The king was confident about his ultimate destination, and by knowing this, he could leave aside everything material, even his own body, without any difficulty of attachment. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated, Param Drishtva Nivartate. One can give up all connections with material attachment when one is able to see the Param, the superior quality of things. From Bhagavad Gita, we can understand the quality of the Lord's energy that is superior to the material quality of energy. And by the grace of a bona fide spiritual master like Sukadeva Goswami, it is quite possible to know everything of the superior energy of the Lord, by which the Lord manifests his eternal name, quality, pastimes, paraphernalia, and the variegatedness. Unless one thoroughly understands his superior or eternal energy of the Lord, this superior eternal energy of Lord, it is not possible to leave the material energy. However, one may theoretically speculate on the true nature of the absolute truth. By the grace of Lord Krishna, Maharaj Parikshit was able to receive the mercy of such a personality as Sukadeva Goswami. Thus, he was able to know the actual position of the unconquerable Lord. It is very difficult to find the Lord from the Vedic literature. It is very easy to know him by the mercy of a liberated devotee like Sukadeva Goswami. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Shagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Shavadhutam Parijana Shaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sayagana Lalita Sri Vishakanitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesh Shunnavadi Paschata Deshtarane Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim Yat kripatama vande Sri Gurundina Taranam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimati Jayapataka Swaminiti Namne Namo Acharya Padaya Nitaya Kripa Pradayane Gaura Katha Dhamadaya Nagar Grama Tarane Vancha Kalpataror Visya Kripa Sindhu Pyevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Hare Krishna Utsrijya Sarvata Sangam Vigyatājit Sanstiti Vaiyasakir Jaho Shishyo Gangayam Swam Kalevaram. Furthermore, after leaving all his associates, the king surrendered himself as a disciple to the son of Vyasa, Sukadev Goswami. And thus he was able to understand the actual position of the personality of Godhead. So, Parikshit Maharaj surrendered to his spiritual master, son of Vyasdev, Sukadev Goswami. Therefore, he was able to understand the actual position of the Lord. So, Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport that it is very difficult to understand the Lord from the Vedic literature. It is very difficult to find the Lord from the Vedic literature. Vedesu durlabham adurlabham atma bhakto. Vedesu durlabham. In Veda is durlabha. Krishna is difficult to find. Naham vede na tapasha na jnana na cha ejya. I am not known by Veda, Tapasya, Jnana, etc. The Lord is not very easily understood by Vedic literature, but Adurlabham Atma Bhakto is understood by his devotees, pure devotees. And if we surrender to that pure devotee, then we will be able to understand the Lord. Actually, you can understand the tattva, the truth about the absolute truth is so difficult, so complex. It is actually very simple, but it has been made so complex that all the people of the world are bewildered. They are speculating different things about God. Everybody is reading the same scripture. They are reading Bhagavad Gita, they are reading Bhagavatam, they are reading Vedas. Practically all the people, especially in India, those who are followers of Sanatana Dharma, must be reading some literature, either Veda, Gita, Bhagavatam, Ramayana, Mahabharata. Something they must be reading, but they are not clear about the position of the Lord. But we are so fortunate actually who have come in contact with Srila Prabhupada and his books. So those who are reading Prabhupada books, they are very, very clear about Krishna's position. So it is mentioned here that by Vedic literature it is not known or difficult, but by the mercy of the devotee one can understand in truth. So Krishna is revealing himself to his devotee. There is one sloka in Upanishad, Yame Vesha Vrinute Tena Labhya Tasyesha Atma Vivrunate Tanam Swam Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhya Namedhaya Na Bahuna Srutena. Na Ayam Atma, this soul or super soul, Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhya, by giving big lectures, it is not possible to know him. It is, maybe one can give big lecture about Krishna's position, but he doesn't know at all. He has not understood, but he can give big lecture. So Pravachanena Labhya Namedhaya, by Medha, by intelligence also Krishna cannot be known. Na Bahuna Srutena, by hearing a lot of about him, or by reading many literatures, he is not known. Na Bahuna Srutena. So how will be known? Yame Vesha Vrinitis Tena Labhya Tasyesha Atma Vibrunate Tanum Swam. That means, if one surrenders to the lotus feet of Krishna, if one surrenders to him, then he can achieve Krishna, and then Krishna will reveal himself to that pure devotee's heart. So pure devotee know Krishna, and like Sukdev Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj surrendered to Sukdev Goswami, he could understand. Is mentioned Vigyata Ajita Sansthiti. He was able to Vigyata, means he knew in truth, he knew perfectly Ajita, who is unconquerable, Sansthiti, his position. So Parikshit Maharaj could understand in truth the position of the unconquerable Lord Krishna by the mercy of Sukdev Goswami. So if we want to understand the position of Krishna properly, then we will have to surrender to pure devotee. Now what does it mean of surrendering? Surrender means to follow the instruction of pure devotee, or surrender means to hear from the pure devotee. If we continue here with respect, because following instruction is also difficult, not so easy. Pure devotee tells you follow forward principles or do this, but it's not difficult. So following instruction is difficult, but hearing is not so difficult. If we continue here from the pure devotee, Prabhupada says the with rapt attention. If we with full attention, with respect, Shraddha, with full faith, if we continue here from the lips of pure devotees, then by hearing, because in their words of the pure devotee has power to change our heart. The words of pure devotee has power to make us follow their instructions. So with faith, if we hear from pure devotee, then gradually we will be able to follow their instructions, and once we follow their instructions, then we are actually becoming surrendered to them. Surrender means following their instruction and dedicating our life just to follow their instructions. If we hear from pure devotees and with full faith, with great respect, and gradually try to follow whatever they are saying and just completely dedicate our life by on their words, whatever they say on that, then we are surrendered, then the truth will be revealed very easily. Then we will understand Krishna very easily, as Prabhupada mentions that it is very easy. It is very easy to know him by the mercy of liberated devotee. So those who are liberated soul, if we hear them, it is very easy to understand. So because Parikshit Maharaj was surrendered, and because he knew the position of Krishna, he was able to Utsrijya Sarvata Sangam. He was able to detach himself from all his associates. He could give up all material attachment due to this, because he knew the position of Krishna. That's why he was able to give up. So Prabhupada writes in purport that if one knows the nature of superior energy, if one understands the nature of superior energy or quality of the superior energy, then he will understand the low qualities of material energy. Then he will be able to giving up the material qualities or material attachment by understanding superior qualities of superior energy. That is param drishtva nivartate. But how to know that? That's again by hearing from the pure devotee. So Parikshit Maharaj, he gave up at once all his material attachment. When he heard the curse that he is going to die in 7 days, he welcomed that curse. He welcomed that curse. He did not protest. And he left everything, and he went on the bank of the Ganga, Gangayam Swam Kalevaram. He went to bank of the Ganga and he left his body. But one may question here that before meeting Sukadeva Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj gave up everything. Before meeting Sukadeva Goswami, because he left everything, then he went to. So what is the role of Sukadeva Goswami in making Parikshit Maharaj detached? So the word Sangam is actually also attachment. Attachment. That means he left everything and he heard Srimad Bhagavatam for continuously 7 days. So after hearing Bhagavatam, if any attachment he had for material world, that he was free from those attachments. He was free from the attachment and he realized the Krishna in truth. Vigyata Ajita Sanstiti. So by the mercy of Sukadeva Goswami, he understood the position of Krishna. So that knowledge Parikshit Maharaj received from Sukadeva Goswami by hearing from pure devotee. So although Parikshit Maharaj is Mahabhagavat, is said to be Mahabhagavat, and before birth he had Sakshat, direct darshan of Krishna, and his entire life is full of wonderful activities. But it seems from this sloka that although everything was good, but the mercy of pure devotee is very much required. That is what highlighted in this sloka and purport, that still there is requirement of mercy of pure devotee like Sukadeva Goswami. So Guru, a spiritual master, was required in his life. And that is happening now. Entire life he was devotee, pure devotee, no doubt. But he met his spiritual master now, before death. And here now he has realized the Krishna in truth, according to this sloka. And now he got a real detachment, proper detachment from the heart. And before giving up the body, he had no material attachment, completely free. So, Gangayam Swam Kalevaram. He gave up his body on the bank of the Ganga. So, this is also one point to be seen. Although, here Sutta Goswami, in this chapter, started to glorify Parikshit Maharaj in the beginning, that how Parikshit Maharaj was born during that time, how he got mercy of Krishna. That then, before speaking this special pastime of being cursed, Sukadeva Goswami wants to remind the audience that before hearing this cursed pastime, you should also remember that this personality is not ordinary. He is special. Therefore, Sutta Goswami in first sloka specifically mentioning about his birth, although birth pastime is spoken long back, reminding that he is not ordinary person, he is a special person. So the curse pastime should be seen from that perception, not from the ordinary perception. Therefore, before narrating this story, Sutta Goswami is glorifying Parikshit Maharaj's early activities, birth activities. One more point we can discuss, that Parikshit Maharaj, this pastime of his being cursed, outside people, means those who are not properly well versed in our proper parampara, acharya, commentary system, they think that Parikshit Maharaj made some blunder, some mistake. They think Parikshit Maharaj did some wrong activity, or they quote some stories. In India, it is very famous. Practically everyone speaks about this. Whoever's only outside ISKCON, you will hear this story only. But in ISKCON, we don't approve that story, because our Acharya never spoke such story. It's not mentioned in our books, or not mentioned in a commentary of Acharya. But some people maybe who are more inclined to hear from outside, from ISKCON, they will speak this, that Parikshit Maharaj was wearing some helmet, crown, when we went to forest. And because he had given 5 places to Kali, so Kali entered the crown, and because of that, he made this mistake of insulting this sage. And then when comes back, he said this, he sat on his asan, then he put his crown down, then he realized that he made mistake. So this is made up a concocted story. And this story is very much famous in India. Even many ISKCON devotees will speak, because they don't know the truth, actual truth. So this is not proper story, because we see that in Bhagavatam, never once Parikshit Maharaj is criticized. We don't see that Sutta Goswami did not criticize. I didn't find any sloka that they criticizing Parikshit Maharaj for his activity, nor any Acharya. Rather, all the Acharyas glorifying Parikshit Maharaj in entire pastime. So therefore, there is no question that Kali conquered the Parikshit Maharaj. This is wrong philosophy. Kali did not conquer Parikshit Maharaj. This is wrong. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, very nicely he has given his commentary in other sloka, where he says that Krishna wanted Parikshit Maharaj to finish his pastime of this material world and come back quickly to the spiritual world. First. Second, Krishna wanted Srimad Bhagavatam incarnation has to happen. Srimad Bhagavatam is the incarnation of Lord, is you know that Krishna Swadama Pagate Dharma Jnana Adivishna Kalo Nashta Drishamesa Puranarko Dhunodita. So Bhagavatam is the incarnation of Krishna, and for incarnation some pastime is to take place. Like Arjuna was bewildered, so that Bhagavad Gita can come, can appear. To make the appearance of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was made bewildered. Similarly, to appear Bhagavatam, this pastime was occurred. Now, Krishna Chakra Thakur giving many arguments for his point that Parikshit Maharaj, he was hunting in the forest and suddenly he got thirsty. And that thirst was extreme thirst, which was not simple thirst. Like before, such thirst never he had felt such kind of thirst. So he was extremely thirsty. That being thirsty extremely, that was some extraordinary. It was not ordinary. Generally, it wouldn't happen in his life. So that made him insult the sage. And then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that, but we don't see that after that there is no mention that he drank the water. Means after insulting him, putting garland in his neck, then he didn't go to somewhere else to drink the water. He should go to some other kutia, other sages. He should go to Yamuna or Ganga or somewhere to drink the water to finish the thirst. That is not mentioned. That thirst was created by Krishna's Maya. That thirst was created and he did that act. But after that, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentions that he did not drink water. He comes back and he immediately takes vows that I will go to forest, I will back of Ganga, I will not eat or drink anything further. So one can tolerate such a long time thirst. What is problem in just for some time? So that is some arguments. So the point is that activity was planned by Krishna, which Parikshit Maharaj did. It was like accidental, it's instant. It was his instant action. Like he is overpowered by thirst, he puts the garland. That was like instantly. There is no plan. He has no hatredness towards Brahmana. He had not previous No. It's instant action. Sometime happens in our life. Sometime we do something instantly. We don't. So those things generally forgiven. Is not taken seriously. So then there is very big elaborate purport by Acharyas about the son of Sringi. So son of Sringi actually, from our Acharya point of view, the real agent of Kali was son of Sringi. He was made the gateway for entering the Kali in Kali Yuga, not Parikshit Maharaj. It's totally opposite. Because that son, the action of the son, which he did the action, that action is really not acceptable. That is really beyond his jurisdictions, as he did. So that was actually the gate of Kali's entry. But people in India, you will see, they speak about Parikshit Maharaj, etc. So no, there is no mistake. That is mistake, obviously, but it is not caused by Kali Yuga or not caused by Acha, even not past activity. Our Vishwanath Chakravarti explains, this is not due to his past karma. So no, there is no any tinge of this particular activity that is following some previous karma. No, so no previous karma. It's instant action. Okay, so we'll keep here. There is little time is left for question answer. The purport is that of this sloka, that by hearing from pure devotee, we will be able to understand the actual position of Krishna and the quality of his superior energy. And if we understand the quality of superior energy, we will be able to give up the material energy like Parikshit Maharaj could give up. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any question? Yes, Mataji. Maybe cordless.
Thank you. You covered many points. You mentioned that Parikshit, being detached, was able to reach the highest destination, of course, after association from pure devotees. So the detachment was the key word. So my question is, in Bhagavad Gita it says, one who controls the mind has already reached the super soul. So can you explain the difference between the two?
Which two?
What Parikshit attained and reaching the super soul by controlling the mind.
Okay.
And also if you can explain that he actually, because in the verse it says that through detachment, one of the main qualities was detachment.
Okay. So in 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, there is mention that one who controls the mind, he achieves the super soul. Prashantatma Vigatas. Prashantatma Vigata. That sloka is there, where it mentioned that one who controls the mind, he achieves the super soul. So yes, the yoga process basically is meant for controlling the mind. And the goal of yoga process is to achieve the super soul. In devotional service, bhakti, also there is a requirement of controlling the mind and detachment. But the detachment can take one to super soul, that's true. But plus he was given the knowledge of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So when one has knowledge of Krishna, he will go to Krishna Lok, not to super soul. But detachment is required in both the process. It's a common. But one who has knowledge of super soul, he will go to super soul. One who has knowledge of the Krishna, he will go to Krishna Loka. But both persons needs detachment. Is it clear? Yeah. Yes, bro.
Is there a difference between Krishna in the heart and Krishna in the spiritual world?
Krishna in earth.
Yeah, Paramatma or Bhagavan, are they the same or different?
Yeah. Krishna and Paramatma are the same person. Krishna is the original Supreme Personality Godhead, and Paramatma is expansion. Paramatma is the expansion of Krishna. So when we say he's attained Krishna, that includes Paramatma. And Paramatma is only existing in the material world. When material world will be finished, Paramatma has no function in the spiritual world. So spiritual world, Krishna exists, and his many other forms of Krishna existing in the spiritual world. But in material world, Paramatma is there. He is a form of Krishna only. Krishna's expansion. The yogis achieve Paramatma. Bhakta goes to Vaikuntha or Goloka Dham. So Paramatma is neutral. He is Sakshi. Upadrishta anumanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwara. Paramatmeti chapyukto desmin purusha para. He is a upadrashta, he is a witness. Anumanta is sanctioner. Upadrashta anumanta cha bharta, he is a maintainer of all living entities. Bhokta is an enjoyer. Maheshwara is a controller. So these are the functions of Paramatma. He is a controller of entire universe. He is a maintainer of entire universe. He is a bharta, bhokta, is enjoyer of all the world. This bhoktaram yagatapsam sarvaloka maheshwaram. And is also sanctioner who gives sanctions. And is witness. That is a function of Paramatma. Paramatma is actually the representative of Krishna, who is living with us in our heart. He is guiding us so we can come back to Krishna again, go back to spiritual world. So Paramatma is our well-wisher. He is a Suridam, well-wisher of all living entities. Suridam sarva bhutanam. He is a Surid, and he wants all the living entities to go back, come back to the spiritual world. So that Krishna is the only form of Paramatma helping us to go back to spiritual world. Haribo. Is it clear? Haribo.
Thank you, Prabhuji. In this context, I remember one verse in Srimad Bhagavatam that Brahmeti Paramatmiti Bhagavaniti Sabdayate. And Prabhupada is writing in this purport that Paramatma is the partial realization of God, and Krishna is the full realization of the God. And he is given the example of sunshine, sun disk, and the sun god.
Right.
And in the case of the yogis, the yoga means union. So yogis want that union of Atma and Paramatma. But we, the devotees, want Krishna as a person in full. This is the full realization.
Haribo. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the nice class. It's mentioned that when the devotee attains perfection, he will see Krishna in the heart. What does it mean, like when it says like we see Krishna in the heart?
Haribo. Yes. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam syama sundaram achinta guna swarupam govindam adipurusham tamam bhajami. So, the pure devotee sees the Krishna in the heart. Actually, Krishna is the Paramatma. Krishna has become Paramatma for everyone. But if one surrenders to Krishna, then Krishna will reveal his Krishna form. And until and unless we are not surrendered to him, Krishna will be with us as a Paramatma form. He is there, Krishna is there as a form of Paramatma. But once we become devotee, then Krishna will reveal his own Swarupa. So non-devotee he cannot reveal. He can be as a Paramatma for everybody. So if one is devotee of Ramchandra, then Krishna will become Ramchandra in his heart. If whichever incarnation or form you become devotee of, that form Krishna will manifest. Before that he is as Paramatma. Before we become devotee, he is as Paramatma.
So he will actually see Krishna as Bhagavan in his heart, like he will actually have the vision of Krishna in the heart. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhu, when Bhishma Deva quit his body, behind Bhishma Deva's Lord Krishna is there. So when Lord Krishna was there behind the body, but he preferred only to see the Narayana with 4 hands, Bhishma Deva. Generally, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are treating that. But even though Bhishma Deva is a very great personality and a great devotee, why he preferred only to see only 4 hands of Lord Krishna as a Vishnu?
Haribo. Yeah. Bhishma Deva is eternal Swarupa. Every devotee have their eternal form, isn't it? In eternal world. Bhishma Deva is devotee of that particular form of Krishna, for which he is praying for. Okay. So Krishna has 4 ends in Dwarka. In Dwarka, Krishna manifests 4 ends. So in the purport you can read, Prabhupada mentions that Bhishma Deva went to the particular planet, Loka. The name of that Loka is Partha Sarathi Loka. So there is a Vaikuntha named Partha Sarathi Loka. There Krishna and Arjuna always there. Always Krishna is charioteer of Partha in that Loka. And Pancha Pandava always there in that Loka. So Bhishma Deva went to that particular planet, that Loka. He is not devotee of like Vrindavan. He is devotee of Partha Sarathi Loka. So in that Loka, Krishna is in 4 ends. And that particular form Bhishma wanted to see before the death. So therefore Krishna manifested that form. Bhishma Deva could see Krishna in that form. But he could see Krishna outside, he could see inside, both same. Then he went to that Partha Sarathi Loka. Okay? Clear. So time is over. We'll stop here. Hare Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Bol.